going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we got a good podcast for you today. I saw an article in the Daily Mail, and they had a flight attendant just giving the game on what go on in the airline industry. So I wanted to reach out to someone that follows our page that's actually in this industry, but there's a Black woman, because Black women, Black people, going to have a whole different perspective than what the white flight attendant may say. So we have Stephanie here today, and she's gonna talk to us a little bit about that industry, some things that we did know, we didn't know, for sure, with the racism part, because we got a lot of questions with that. So Stephanie, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Hi guys. Hi Phil. Nice to be here. A little nervous, so excuse me.
Oh, you good. So Stephanie, how long you been in the airline industry?
It will be 4 years in October.
4 years in October.
Yes.
Okay. So what made you want to go work, in the as a flight attendant?
Actually, a friend of mine is a flight attendant, and she's been a flight attendant for another company for 6 years. And she was my inspiration for wanting to become a flight attendant.
Okay. So you got into, you applied and you got hired. What's some things that people don't know about that process?
I would say as pros and cons, or just the basic cutthroat raw, what happens.
Okay, so when you say cutthroat and raw, what does that mean?
I mean, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, or just kind of like a generalization of what goes on, because it seems glamorous and all, and there are some glamorous aspects of it, but I would have to say the training is the most difficult part of it, not just because of what you're learning, but what goes on behind the scenes during training.
Okay, well, that's the part we want to know. Behind the scenes. What's going on that most people don't know behind the scenes?
Oh, wow. Well, just ask me directly and I can tell you, because there's so much, and my mind is in so many different places. So I'm not really structured. So I think if you kind of lay it out, then I can just go in.
Okay, so when you're doing your training and you made the comment that things are going on behind the scenes, what's going on behind the scenes that made you say, okay, like, what is this? What sticks out to you?
Okay, I would have to say the mean girl aspect of it, definitely number one. And number two, the preferential treatment that some are given. I'm not sure how candid you want me to be, but those are the two things that sticks out.
Well, our show, we want to be very candid, very raw. If you're pissed off, cuss people out, whatever, let us know. This is a podcast.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, be very candid. Mean girls. I know what that means, but what does that mean, and who are the mean girls?
Okay, the mean girls are the white girls. Very condescending, rude, entitled little beings. And I would have to say the instructors, racist as can be. You're giving two opportunities during training. You have to pass all of your training and all of your tests within 85% or above. During my training, all of the flight attendants failed, but were just passed right through, blatantly, even with objection from the other Black flight attendants, or before the students, basically. We were made aware that they had the answers to the test, and they would just openly cheat. Took it to the upper management, and we were just dismissed. And gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just so upset just reliving that again. This was back in 2017. Mm-hmm. And, I couldn't figure out, as much as we studied in our study group all night, these people would some of them would come up with 100% all the time, and others would just with flat out fail. And I couldn't understand, how did they graduate with us knowing what we knew? And we had an insider by the name of Justin. He was white. He was a white guy. And he shared with us what we already knew. Yeah, shared it on Facebook. I still have the email that he sent to me about the cheating that was going on and the passing of the other students who were white. And they really didn't give a damn what we had to say. Didn't care.
Well, so let me get this straight. So the white girls were basically given the answers to cheat, and the black women, they actually had to try to get it on their own merits. Is
Exactly.
that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. So basically, and see, this is what I don't like about certain conversations about, like, when black people talk about white folks and what they have and or even be more like them, because if you know their history, their whole history has been cheating, lying, and stealing. Basically, what the devil is, right?
Exactly.
The devil. So the black women knew what was going on. They tried it at the best of their merits or whatever. White girls breeze on right through. Even a white guy that was cool to let y'all know, hey man, this was going on. And I guarantee you, if they find out that white guy did that, he was ostracized, right?
He was.
Because anytime white people try to do the right thing, it's like they off code with the white society, and they gonna get crucified no matter what white person is, white guy, white lady, whatever. I've seen it so many times. So how did you get through it then?
Barely. I actually, like I said, I was the one of the persons who brought it to the administrator's attention. And we actually got into a heated confrontation. After that, I was targeted as usual, every little thing I said. And we have a certain code of conduct, even when you're not on the premises, even in the aspect of becoming a flight attendant. They're watching you every step of the way. So on our downtime, there was little, I would say, instances where they tried to like set me up. A couple of the girls in there. Oh, forgot to talk about this part. We get random drug tests as well. A couple of the white girls were tested positive for cocaine. Nothing happened to them.
Wow.
Yes. They're still passed them through and everything. Justin told us about that story too. But yeah, we actually shared a room with these girls. It was 4 of us to one room. And yeah, they were out partying the whole time. One of the girls Snapchatted, so the video was there. And yeah, they popped up with a drug test the next morning in class, tested positive, but yet they were still allowed to continue. So the privilege is out of control.
And how does that make you? How does that make you feel when you literally watching them cheat? You're watching them literally get high and all of that. How does that make you and other black women feel, like, internally?
Just furious, because we're always depicted as the ones who are the savages, the ones who steal, the violent ones. And here, this is the real truth right here. And I just became just very irate. And right now, I think it was Dr. Boyce who said that sometimes racism can give you like a mental illness, just mess with your mind. And that's where I'm at right now, because everything that I've seen, just not as being a flight attendant, but in everyday life, when you just see it blatantly like that, it just it puts hate in your heart. It just makes you cold. But yeah, I was just furious, because here we are studying, trying to play by the rules, do the right thing, and yet these people are over here just breezing through, and it's just not right. It's not fair. It's not right. And it just makes you angry.
Yeah, I always said that, the way white folks are in society, it's kind of like, you remember in school where they were grade on the curve for some test, and you can make a certain score, but they would give you 10 additional points or 15 additional points because it's being graded on the curve for the particular test. Sometime with a teacher, I don't know if you had that in school.
Yes.
And that's how they are in society. Everything they do is graded on the curve. And I remember even, Omarosa even told the white girl to her face, I don't know if you've seen that clip, they say, I have to be exceptional and great. You can be mediocre and get everything you want. And I'm like, wow.
Yes.
She told that white girl to her face. And that's just the reality for us here, in America, do this racist system. This is why I love to see white privilege diminishing, because it is diminishing, whether they see it or not, because they've been cheating for so long. that they can't really compete on an equal playing field. So since, women like yourself know how to compete on an equal playing field, they say it's, I know COVID did a number to a lot of people too, probably in that industry. Is that, would we say that would be correct?
That's accurate. Yes.
Okay. I know a lot of people got furloughed and things like that, and then they bring is a lot of them being brought back, or the people that actually work being brought back? How's that working?
Yes, they're definitely being brought back, and we're up by I think TSA scans were at 2.1 million last month, so we're about 80% where we were back in 2019 pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned the drug testing, failing the drug test, but they still, skate by. Now, I have to ask the question, like, because the lady in the article talked about putting y'all on a special diet. Is that true?
No, we our company has not. I have not heard of that one.
Okay. What about the hair aspect? Because I have never seen a black flight attendant have natural hair. And I've flown, let me see, I've definitely flown United, Southwest. I've flown JetBlue. Trying to think what else I've flown. Oh, well, I've flown internationally too. But outside of, I don't like to even put in Ethiopian Airlines. It's a black home. But is it like, do they not allow black women to have natural hairstyles?
I'm glad you asked that, because I just received an email 3 days ago regarding your appearance, and there was a photo that my company released, and braids were not considered acceptable or professional. So there's a check mark, a green check mark with a circle around it saying approved hairstyles, and then a red X with non-approved hairstyles, and braids were one of them. So I looked at that and I became infuriated again. I started to share that with you, but I was like, let me just step away for a minute. But yeah, that's frowned upon. I do know a flight attendant who had dreads. She was called into the headquarters out in Phoenix, and she was told that she either take the dreads out or she would be disciplined. So that is rampant upon the industry. And actually, there is an Instagram and Facebook page that's dedicated to our stories of everyday microaggressions, and even direct just harassment and racism, and just overall, it just makes you tired.
Well, what's the name of that Instagram page so we all can follow?
Gosh, I have to go back to it. It's not Black Flight Attendants USA, because someone reported it and got it taken down, but it's back up. So I have to get.
Wait. Hold on. Somebody reported a page for Black people in the airline industry, and it was taken down?
Yes, a white person reported the page, said it was bullying and harassment, and it was shut down by Instagram. And the creator created another backup page and let us know what was going on. And I think after a week or so, it was put back up. But because we're sharing our stories, for some reason, how crazy is that? We share our stories of us being discriminated against, but we're considered the bully. How in the heck does that work? So that's exactly what happened.
In a system of white supremacy, telling the truth about racism, they feel that's bullying them. Or like right now, the cops are talking about how their morale is low and they're quitting and retiring because they don't have free reign to beat up Black people anymore without consequence. So it's bringing my morale down. I mean, that is the thought process of white supremacy. Like I say, it's evil. Like, you telling the truth of what's happening. Mm-hmm. And instead of saying, man, we need to correct this. No, they want to say you're bullying me, and for Facebook or Instagram, same company, mm-hmm. to go along with that is completely wrong. I would love to see that page. I mean, I think what they should do is private the page, and then that way you could screen who coming in.
Yes, that's a good idea. I believe on Facebook they've done that because it was public, but now it's private right now. I have to get you the name of that one as well. But I'm so happy that they're there because I thought it was like a small number. But in sharing our stories, it's just so common and we all just go through it. Sometimes people will say to me, oh, you're just overthinking and you're overreacting. It's not that bad. But listening to these thousands, all of us can't be telling the same lie, basically. So yes, it's happening, is there. And like I said, if you're not really strong mentally, it will break you. But we have a long way to go. Very long way to go. Even from the pilot's view of it, these pilots are some racist pieces of shit. Sorry, but yeah.
No, you good. No, you free to say whatever you want.
Yeah. I've also did a couple of, we call them CIR, which is cabin incident reports, on a few racist pilots on some trips that I've had. And the pilots are still there. No disciplinary action has been done. And yeah, so it's like you every day there's a fight. So you have to kind of just come to the terms of you're going to continue to fight or just going to leave and just save your mental health. One of the two. I know, some people need to work and, they have bills to pay and it's not that easy, but it's going to be a fight.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Since all this is going on, I know they have this Facebook page, but we know today that if y'all were to start exposing these companies, who's doing it, who's protecting them, and get the grassroots involved with these airlines, corporate usually gonna respond. Because I know how it works in corporate America. Like they'll keep the racists all around all day long until they get some national, exposure, some exposure on social media. So what's holding people back from exposing them?
That's a good question. I would love to know because every time I get together and speak about this, in private, no one wants to say anything. The main thing that some of the flight attendants I speak to will say, well, they only do that to people they don't like. What the hell you mean they only do that to people that they don't like? Well, I want to fly underneath the radar. I just don't want to cause any waves. And that irks my nerves. It's like, why are you being complacent with what's blatantly just mistreatment and wrong? I'm not understanding that. And that leads me back to maybe, they don't want to cause any waves because they have bills to pay. But I'm with you, Phil. It definitely needs to be exposed. And I just can't get enough people or numbers with me or who wants to stand with me. I can't do it. I can't. I don't know why they won't.
Because like even that email that you was sent,
yeah,
like that email alone, it will be like, oh no, you got it. Hey, so you discriminate against black people's hair? Oh, see, they wouldn't want that going public. Trust me, they would not want that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that internal email.
I definitely will send you. I will send you all of that.
We can scratch. We can definitely scratch out the names and anything that's identifiable. But yeah, because the people need to know that if that particular airline is going to discriminate in that manner, then maybe the black public should know about how black people are being treated. Now, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
When black passengers fly, and we've heard a lot of discriminatory stories, especially the first class stories, right?
Yeah.
What is it about the airlines? Like, why do you think black people don't belong in first class?
Well, two stories I can share with you to just educate your listeners. When we're on the plane, we have to do a weight and balance. And sometimes we have to move passengers from a particular zone 1, 2, or 3, to zone 1, which is first class. And this particular day, I was asked to move 3 passengers from zone 3, which is the back of the aircraft, to zone 1. So you know me, I'm going to pick my people, and I picked 3 black people. And the passenger, white lady, Karen, went off. Why are these people sitting next to me? Mind you, she was, I don't know if you're familiar with the configuration, but in first class, we have on one side of the aircraft is just a single row of chairs, just no one is sitting next to you, which is row A. And on the other side is row C and D, and there's, a 2-person passenger seat. So I didn't see anyone next to her, but just on the other side. And like I said, it was for weight and balance. It was from the captain. And so she demanded that to speak with the captain and said that these people just cannot afford to be up in first class. It was not fair because she had paid for a first class ticket and for them to have a free ride, quote unquote, and welfare. She wasn't having it.
Well, hold on,
Yes.
hold on. Her free, well, people that's on welfare traditionally can't afford to fly too many planes.
This is what she said.
So because they black, they on welfare?
Yes.
Oh my God! Like,
Yes.
I mean, if that idiot knew statistics, more white people are on welfare.
Absolutely.
They get the majority of food
Absolutely.
stamps and all of that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And yeah, and so when I informed the captain, like I said, well, this, I'm not reasoning with you. I'm not arguing with you. So I got the captain who was white. And so he said, well, is anyone sitting next to her? I said, no. He said, well, is she being inconvenienced in any way? I said, no. He said, well, just tell her if she's not happy, she can just take another flight. So I went back. I was told her, I said, okay, well, I informed the captain. He said, you're welcome to take another flight, book you on another flight. We can get that done. And she was like, no, I'll just continue, but I will be writing a letter to United. So it's this, like you said, people aren't used to seeing Black people in first class. I've even had a passenger turn around and ask another Black person, are you sure you're sitting in the right seat?
Really?
Yes. And
Wow.
it's just so it's the way these people think is just, well, it's not anything new to me, but I guess because they're just more bold with it and just stating it how it is, it's just crazy. Let me tell you another incident, another first class incident. It was this Indian guy. He's a 1K global service passenger, which means he's like the top of the tier. So he asked for coffee. I got him his coffee, but I guess I wasn't timely enough. Do you know this Indian man, darker than me now, came to me, stuck his finger in my face and said, you are the worst flight attendant ever, you effing nigger.
Whoa.
Yes.
He called you that?
He did. In front of witnesses, the whole first class section, yes, he did.
And what happened to him?
Nothing. Me and the captain, who happened to be Black, went after the plane landed. We went straight to United. United has a headquarters in Houston Airport, Bush Intercontinental Airport. So we wrote out a statement, everything that happened. So I'm thinking, okay, United's got my back. This is just not right. A month later, where I'm boarding, and this same passenger boards and hand me his freaking jacket to hang up in the coat closet. I'm shaking at this time, literally. So I called the other flight attendant. She was another Black flight attendant. And I said, hey, I need you up in this cabin with me because this man called me a nigger a month ago and I reported it. And he's still, I'm thinking he's going to be banned from United, ever flying this company. No, he was there. And she, my other flight attendant, she said, what? He did? I said, yes. So I didn't interact with him the whole trip or anything. We kind of switched positions because I couldn't do it. I just could not serve this man. I could not do it. And I informed the captain when we landed. I say, hey, this is his passenger on this flight. I'm just letting you know if anything happens. He called me a nigger in the past, so I am not, serving him. And the captain was white. So he said, what do you mean? I said, yeah. He said, well, did you write a report? Did you tell United? I said, yes. He said, well, what is he doing back on the plane? I said, exactly. So nothing was done.
So the captain, once the captain found out, what did the captain do? The captain put him off the plane, or he just flew anyway?
No, well, when he called me the name, this was during in flight. So
yeah, I remember that part. But I'm talking about the second one with the white captain.
No, he did not. He just said, well, did you report it? What is he doing back on the plane? And I said, well, yeah, I reported. I wrote a statement and everything. And he said, well, United didn't do anything. And I said, no. So he just carried on. I was like, shrugged it off, like, oh, okay.
So it seems like to me the company is being complicit in racial abuse.
That's exactly what's happening.
I mean, cause at that point you're being complicit because it's been reported and you've done nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing at all. So you're being complicit.
His privileges were still there. He's still the 1K global service member. I'm like I said, I just knew he was going to be banned. No, when I saw his face, I mean, I could not believe he was back on. Yeah,
And see, this is my issue, and this is a lot of issues that we're having. We talk about more now as Black Americans. All these other immigrant groups coming into this country off of our backs and our hard work of our ancestors, and then they come over here and talk to us, and treat us like they some white folks. Well, at the end of the day, like you said, he probably darker than you, and yet he gonna look and call you that. Like if somebody white look at him at first glance, they will call him that.
Exactly. And all this black and brown coalition, like, no, that doesn't exist. I mean, exists. I know we have some allies with us, but you would be surprised. I'm bilingual as well. And sometimes when I fly to Mexico, I hear the racial slurs in Spanish. So we're fighting a huge battlefield. It's so many people that don't like us and so much that's stacked against us in all aspects. Like I said, aviation, healthcare, just all over. And you would think that, like you said, they come over here and, the white people are going to look at you and they're going to say the same thing about you. So what do you mean? You're darker than me. What are you saying? But I failed to mention this part. No, I didn't just stand there and cry and cower in the corner. No, I went to battle with this dude. I'm cursing him out. At this point, I don't care if they fire me. You're not going to call me that. I'm not going to say anything. Bump that being professional. And, you should have just de-escalated. Bump that. No, I went head to head with this guy. And I didn't receive anything from Human Resources about what I said. But the fact that he was allowed to remain with United and nothing happened is very complicit. They were complacent. So.
Well, you mentioned your flight to Mexico. What words were they saying about you, or what were they saying about you in Spanish?
Usually they'll say, I don't know what this thing is with some quote unquote white Hispanics, but they spoke about my skin color. Look at her. She's so black. Her skin is so dark. She has good manners to be basically the same equivalent of a nigger, but because of our serving skills and my the way that I speak, she speaks very well to be a nigger. She shit like that. And when
that's the whiter looking ones, right?
Yes, that's the quote unquote white Hispanics. Yes.
Okay, because like I've talked to who's it, Brenda Lazama. She even last time she came on because she was doing even things with Univision, and she was telling me like over there, the more whiter looking you are, the more access you have, but the darker you are, the more like dark brown indigenous looking, ones over there, like they treat you like crap.
Yes.
Like over there in Mexico. So you more the color like the indigenous people.
Exactly.
What they call Indios.
Yes.
Over there.
Yes. And that is so true. You are treated so differently and it's so apparent. And I don't understand that because, they're supposed to be our brothers and sisters. I don't understand. Like what? How can this be? But I don't know. You hear some comedians even talk about the Dominicans. Say, I'm not black. My hair is different. And it's like, dude, you're the same color. You look. What do you mean you're not black? But they are some of the most race. I would dare to say you have some Hispanics who are more prejudiced and racist against us than some of the white supremacists.
My wife said that. My wife told me that Mexicans. She just mentioned Mexicans because she said Mexicans can be more racist than white people.
Yeah,
she said that. She told me a long time ago, and we see what happens in California with that issue going on. Definitely in Southern California. I think recently I'd done a video about something that happened on vacation. I think it was in Cancun, and the cartel, jumped out of jet skis and went shooting like the workers, but they weren't targeting the sister at all. But she got caught up in the crossfire. And so in my video, I was saying that, look, why y'all want to go to Mexico for dealing with some racism? Go to Africa, go to the Caribbean, go, you know what I'm saying? Go somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And I had a few, expats made videos back at me. Oh, I'm in Mexico and I'm not treated like that. I'm like, man, BS, bro. And then you telling me they calling you a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
What they call you, mayate or whatever.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I watched that video that you're speaking of. I did see that. The woman who got shot, and yeah. And I agree with you. Why are we not going to Africa? Like, what? It just seems like we Black people. Well, let me not say that. I just don't know why we don't want to just visit our motherland as opposed to going to the other place. It's nothing wrong with visiting these other places, but I think our first how should I say this? I think we should definitely be more focused on visiting Africa as opposed to other countries. Just to see how, where we come from, how we are, and how, if, like you said, we need to just leave and just breathe for a minute without dealing with the day-to-day crap that we have to deal with here in America, in Europe. That's all. That's what I think. I do watch some of the expat videos about Mexico, and like I said, I'm over there a lot. I'm over there each and every month, 4 and 5 times out of the month. It's a beautiful place, but the racism is rampant, and like I said, those Hispanics can be just as, or even more so, racist than the white supremacists.
Yeah, like I said, I've heard that, and like I said, I ain't lost nothing in Mexico. I've been in Mexico once. I think it was once a border town back in the day. I think Matamoros was a border town outside of Brownsville. But once the cartel stuff really got jumped off, pretty bad right after those 2 years, I say I'm good. I say at least in Houston, or we're in a different place in America, I know where I can and cannot go. What to deal with those problems.
Right.
But like I said, for me, it's Africa. You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about nothing else. I don't know. It's all those countries, and I know I think United was saying they have a flight now from DC to Accra now, going about 3 times a week. I don't know if you heard about that particular flight.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, look it up. They have a flight going from the DC airport. I don't know if it's Dulles to Accra. They announced that on their Twitter recently.
Oh wow. Okay. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so maybe you can get on some of those flights if possible, and go to Ghana. So yeah, they got that going on.
Well, definitely, not to interrupt you. Now we have a lot of, well, not a lot, but we have some African pilots from Kenya, from Ghana. I can't remember the other parts of Africa that they're from, but they too talk about the racism that they experience from the white pilots, especially if they're a captain, a black African captain, and the FO, which is the first officer, is white. They do not like taking direction. They mouth off, and it's a shit show in that flight deck. If these passengers knew what really go on these flights, and the mentality of these captains, and a lot of them have been charged and accused of sexual abuse, and so much that goes on, people would think twice about taking certain flights.
Well, we know that racism is rampant in every institution of America. That's why when we say systemic racism, it's systemic. It's in every institution, no matter what it is. Because I said this: as long as those people in charge, it's going to be racism. That is their culture. That's their culture. If you've been doing something for hundreds of years, that's your culture by now.
Right.
It's not an individual at that point.
But Phil, have you ever spoken to Black people and ever mentioned to them in a conversation and say, well, emergency room racism?
Yeah, medical racism, yes.
Yeah, or just even in the medical field, because I was speaking with my best friend and I said, it's so hard for me to find a Black dentist, where I am, because I just don't want to go to a white person because I'm sick of the racism, and they think we don't feel pain. And she was like, I never really thought about that. I didn't think they were racist doctors. How could you not think, like you said, it's systemic. They've been doing this for so many years. And there are a lot of Black people who I don't know if they just don't think about it, or if you mention it to them in a conversation, they'll say, well, I never thought about that. And I just don't see how is that possible, because it's in every aspect in every field. You
Well,
kind
some people in our community are just lost. And like I said, listen, the doctors that we have here, like I said, my dentist is Black. Dr. Chandra Baptiste, shout out to her. Dr. Chandra's good, but I know they got plenty of Black dentists in Atlanta. I mean, when you're into some of these cities, maybe you can go to them, and see.
Oh, is this in Houston?
Yeah, in Houston, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in Houston. Yeah, I think it's Elite Dental Wellness. I think it's the name of her practice. Dr. Chandra Baptiste. Yep, that's her.
Oh, great. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because we got Black therapists here if you need a therapist, medical doctors, dermatologists. The cities like Houston, Atlanta, definitely places like that, probably DC, you're gonna find a lot of your, Black professionals. Because I'm like you. I don't really want to fool with them folks like that because of what I know about medical racism, what I've been told by nurse practitioners, other doctors that are Black, nurses that are Black. Like, I don't trust them folks like that. And like you said, them Indians, with their racism, you got the Asians with their racism too, So I always look at it like everybody's against us, period. Everybody's against us. So with that mindset, I try to just minimize my, interaction with, certain individuals. I'm not saying everybody's hateful, because like that guy Justin you talked about earlier, hey, okay, Justin one of the cool ones, but I'm like this, the minority of y'all, is not the majority. So I got to keep my guard up at all times due to the majority.
Absolutely. 100%. Oh, and let me do this. I forgot the disclaimer in case someone wants to know and they say, oh, well, she just said Mexico. She didn't state where. I've been to León, Guadalajara, Querétaro, Iztapa, Oaxaca, Mexico City. So it's not just the Cancuns or, the spring breaks that I'm referring to. I've been all over in Mexico where I've experienced, the darker the skin and the racism. So just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, and the thing is, just to give you some clarity, she's not even my skin color. So there you go. She's more of a medium brown sister, right? And they still they're still saying she's too dark, and they still calling her, Mayate and all that they calling her. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't have no desire. Listen, I know these white supremacists in America. I'm not about to go to another place and deal with white supremacists. I don't care if they got brown skin or whatever. I'm gonna go where my people at. I'm happy. I didn't hear no N word. Most of them don't even know what that word is. Can't relate to that word. Maybe you go someplace in Nigeria or whatever because they trying to copy Black American culture. But and I've heard people say that a few of them will walk up to you and say, hey, what's going on, my nigga, like that. And I'm like you got to educate them. Like, nah, brother. They thinking it's a term of endearment, not the, the young ones. Like, nah, brother. Let me explain to you why that's not a term of endearment at all. But they see it hear the music, because Africa is highly influenced for what Black America do. I'm being told that all the time. Like, y'all are the ones that we're kind of looking at and following. Which I was like, well, don't follow America. Like keep your culture. You know what I'm saying? But one thing they talked about as well in that article, maybe you can talk about this. They were saying that in order to move up in the company, a lot of these flight attendants be sleeping around with the captains. Oh, it must be true. You start laughing.
It's true. It's true. It's definitely true. Yes.
So now let me ask you a question. The ones that like to sleep around most of the time, is that the Beckys?
It is. And it's funny that you mentioned that because right now I'm in a Facebook group and it's a group of 10 flight attendants who, the ones who like to sleep around. And actually, they've all claimed to be, I don't know what they did in Mexico, but they had a night out and now they're claiming they were sexually assaulted. And they reported it to HR and Mysteriously, they all got fired, but the captain is still there. So,
Oh, they all got fired?
yes.
Oh, so this particular company is not only covering racism, but now they're covering sexual assault?
Yes. I'm gonna send you all of those screenshots of everything that's going on in this group. Actually, I would love to just add you to that group so you can see
If
for
you add me to
yourself.
that group, they're gonna get suspicious. Don't add me.
Don't
They'll
add
get
you. Okay.
suspicious.
Okay.
No, you do better. You do better just giving me information. Don't
Okay.
no. I'm a black man. They're gonna really get suspicious. Who that Negro is coming in here? They're gonna start researching me, find out who I am. So no, don't do that.
Okay.
No,
But
don't do
yeah,
that.
there this is this pilot who's there, and 10 it started with 2 accusations. Now it's up to 10. And every other day they post, and he's still there. I just checked my schedule. He has a flight tomorrow, actually, and this happened back in 2017, and he's still there.
So why they didn't go to the Me Too movement? Because
Exactly.
if you're the black pilot, they'd be Me Tooing all day long,
No,
calling
he would've
Tarana
been.
Burke and all that.
Thank you. He would have been gone. That black pilot would have been gone quick.
And probably got criminally charged too.
Yes. And actually, there's been since I've been there 3 pilots who they had domestic violence on 2 flight attendants, and this is the first one the first one where people have come out. There's about 5 different captains there who are known to be predators, and they're still there. And from what I've been told, is the theory is that flight attendants are disposable. They're like Skittles, but we invest too much money in these pilots, so we're not getting rid of them. And I have the email from the CEO who said this and said that the flight attendants are minions. They're replaceable. They're Skittles. So yeah, I can send you all of that.
Oh, please do, because I would love to blast that.
Yes, I have that.
Oh, and that CEO still in the position?
Yes, he is.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yes,
I want that hair discrimination email,
yes.
And I want that email to basically say that y'all is who cares what happens to you guys, no matter what it is, we can't replace a pilot. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, please send us that.
I sure will.
Yeah, we will redact, names and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anything that we need to know cleanliness wise before we get on the airplane, like, look, y'all, do this or don't do that. Before we wrap up.
I'm glad you asked that. We have, when we read our announcements, we have to say that United uses an electrostatic sprayer to spray the airplane. No, we don't. It's not sprayed with an electrostatic sprayer. It's not being sanitized. So bring your own Sandy wipes. It's half done. Even with COVID and everything that's going on and all these precautionary measures that they're supposedly taking, it's not being done. I'm there every day, and especially when we do a quick turn, there's not enough. We don't have enough crew right now. We don't have enough staff members to clean the plane adequately. So bring your own Sandy wipes. Try not to wear open-toed shoes. Definitely bring a jacket. We're not giving out blankets due to COVID, so bring your own. But definitely, I would have to say that when we read our announcements and we say that we're doing these extra, cleaning measures, United is not doing it. They're not.
Why did you say don't wear open-toe shoes? Why is that?
There's a lot of nasty people that travel, and there's a lot of germs. Sometimes we have nervous passengers as well that have accidents or vomit, and it's not. We're supposed to, whenever that happens, like urine or vomit, by any type of bodily fluid, we're supposed to call in hazmat, and they're supposed to clean. That's not done. As of 2 weeks ago, when we had a passenger who urinated in our back galley on the floor, and it just went everywhere in the carpets on the inside of the cabin. We told the captain that we needed hazmat, and we were told, "Oh well, we don't have hazmat anymore, so stop calling us." So you don't know, you don't know what's in that carpet. What your skin can be exposed to. So I always just like to have my my arms and my feet, my legs covered. I don't want my skin coming into contact because there's so many thousands of people that, could have anything. So that's just one of my biggest pet peeves that I do. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm glad you said that. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to bring your sanitizing wipes and don't wear I guess you're wearing I guess maybe some slides, but put socks on, I
Yes,
guess.
definitely wear socks over them. If you don't want to wear like gym shoes, tennis shoes, just wear socks over your feet.
Okay.
Don't drink the coffee. Bring your Starbucks or any. Do not drink the potable water from the plane. Don't drink the coffee.
Okay. So why you say don't drink the coffee?
First of all, the coffee pots aren't cleaned.
Okay.
They're not cleaned. The area, some of the flight attendants, some are more cleanly than others. So when I'm there, I wipe down. It's not like a faucet, but what the water comes out of. You have to clean that, and that's not cleaned. So whatever is gunked up, and like a shower head, if you don't clean your shower heads,
Right.
it builds up. Yes, that's never cleaned, and there's no telling what's in that. So no, I would not. Even with the bags that you place the coffee in, they're touching that with their bare hands. They're not using gloves. So that's just like contamination on another level to me. So no, I would not advise anyone to drink plain coffee.
Okay. So if you're gonna drink coffee, get it at the Starbucks before you get on the flight. So you can
Yes.
get that. So what do you say? I mean, do you suggest that we do make sure it's bottled water or something in a can? That was your
Yes,
basic suggestion.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, awesome. And what about the mask incidents? Like I know it's probably still what you got to have a mask on the flight now. Still.
Yes, it's still a mask mandate in place. Right now, I just received an email from our union because assaults are up 300% since the um, putting the mask mandate in. And right now, we have a zero tolerance policy because flight attendants are being assaulted every day due to these Mzungus refusing to wear a mask. Is 99.9% is them all the time. And now they've added at least, they call them LEOs, which is law enforcement officers. We have at least 5 undercover LEOs on our flights, especially going to DC because there's been so many fights and so many disruptions in the air over this mask mandate that people are refusing to adhere to.
Oh, that sounds about right. They don't never want to follow the rules, but they'll tell you to follow the rules, though.
Right.
That's always amazing with them. And I've seen many stories like they fighting, like you said, it's true, fighting flight attendants. Like you said, just has anyone almost assaulted you, or have you been assaulted?
No. Dirty looks, yes, but the only the verbal assault was the nigger incident. But as far as the mask mandate, it's mainly just dirty looks or a little banter back and forth. And I'll say, okay, well, you're welcome to get off the flight, to get off the plane, and then they'll go ahead and adhere. But I personally have not been physically assaulted. No, knock on wood.
Well, that's good. We don't want you, assaulted at all. But you really definitely opened up our eyes to a lot of things in the industry. And like I said, when you get a chance, please, give me those emails because I want to go ahead united, about this, about their racism. And let's get the grassroots involved and shoot. Like I said, if you're gonna treat the black people like that, maybe black people don't need to fly your airline. It's just that simple.
Absolutely.
You don't need to fly
Absolutely.
because once you say, well, look, if my people can't have the hair, or you don't care about my people like that, or even you saying it's okay to sexually assault women, that's not cool. Just to keep a
Absolutely.
pilot, no. That's against the law.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely, sister, we thank you very, very much for coming on today. I really enjoyed the conversation and also the education about not only the industry, but how black people are treated in the industry. Basically, it's what I always thought. It's just another plantation, just in the air.
Yes.
And it makes me think a whole lot different. That's why I hate Ethiopian Airlines don't do domestic flights. So that's all I would fly, because I love Ethiopian Airlines. I love it. First time I ever flew them, I say all black flight attendants, black pilots. It was the most wonderful experience I ever had with flying United. I'm sorry, flying Ethiopian. Oh, I loved it. Like I said, if you ever get a chance to go fly with them, you may want to go work with them.
I would love to.
They actually have an American headquarters here, because I think I interviewed the man that was over it here, because they got one. I don't know if it's in Virginia or wherever it's at. It's on the East Coast, I think. The hub here, and then of course the main one is in Ethiopia. But I loved Ethiopian Airlines. I loved it. Customer service was awesome. Like I said, it was the best. So if you ever have a chance to fly, or at least with them, or just check them out. Go check them out.
Oh, definitely. I definitely would do that. And a quick question. Now, you mentioned an article, I think you said you were reading on another flight attendant. What was she saying? I'm curious to what was her story about?
Oh, she put in the Daily Mail, like some things I asked you about, the sleeping around. She talked about the champagne and all the things they dumped down the toilet. She was talking about the how things aren't clean, like you said. I think I mentioned the sleeping around. So I was just more so just kind of referring to what she said and just asking you just to verify what she's saying is true. And basically everything she basically said,
Okay.
Verified that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So I like I said, just please give me that information when you can.
Definitely.
And you definitely enjoy the rest of your day, and sometimes you got to cut them ugly looks at them folks sometime too, because them looks that especially sisters will give you sometime, like you better not try it kind of look. White girls can't do that, but y'all can. Like, oh, I ain't gonna do nothing. Sometimes I'm pretty sure you have to cut them look at them little white kids sometimes too, because them little white kids come on them planes acting like, oh my God. I remember one time I seen this little white woman, single mother, had a little boy, and that boy was just all over the place, and he was acting up. He was getting on my nerves. I'm like, man, she need to handle him, bro. She need to handle him. So I know you're pretty sure you deal with that all the time.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. If like I said, for us to have such a bad rap about parenting and everything else and being violent, if I just would love to do it before and after, like before a flight, just take a picture of the plane, and then afterwards, they are the worst as far as trashing the planes. I don't get it. I mean, it's just horrible, Phil. Like I said, if you just trash all over the floors, we come up and down the aisle asking you to discard your trash, to not put in the seat back pockets, and they just literally food smashed into the carpet, on the seats, gum on the seat belts. And you would think like these people are just, the way they portray themselves, like they're so behaved and civilized. No, they're not. They are some of the worst passengers dealing with. So yeah. But
well, I think on my entertainment channel they had I covered one where this female said that she only took a bath once every 6 days.
I saw that.
Yeah, okay, you saw that. I got another one I'm about to do where this dude, wasn't washing his feet in the shower. So they're afraid of baths. So when it comes to cleanliness, they only referring back to they Neanderthal days. You got to remember, we taught them how to bathe. And we just talk about history. We taught them how to bathe. So, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you
very much, and for joining us. And you stay blessed. And make sure like I said, don't let them folks treat you any kind of way now.
Yeah, I'll get up out of there before it comes to that, or I'll be thrown out, one of the two. But I'll definitely get you that information. I'm gonna send it over to your Instagram.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm gonna jump right on as soon as you get it to me, and I go through it. Oh yes, ma'am. I want to blast them.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.